All right, this ain't a 20-minute check-in. This is a 40-minute check-in. But during a 20-minute check-in, I was ascending. How far did we come up at? What was it? What retread says? 1,400 feet? 1,400 feet and about 1.5 miles. So that was about a 45-degree angle. I wasn't going to give you a 20-minute check-in. So now I'm on the back side coming down before we got to go back up. But anyhow, so we started at Thundering Falls. And we're out overnight. And depending on what the weather does, today's supposed to be a bluebird day, but Monday's supposed to rain in the afternoon. It's calling for 70% chance last time I looked at it, but it maybe it'll get less and we'll just get a resupply and keep going. We'll see. But we're 42 miles this morning from when we started from the New Hampshire state line. So anyhow, this is what trail looks like this morning. I got come-alongs up there cleaning the spider webs out, but I don't think we've run into any yet, so somebody must be in front of us. You have run through a few? Oh yeah, so we're the first ones on the trail this morning. But all right, so far so good. Day's supposed to be a good day, so make some miles and we'll see how it goes. All right, check in later. All right, I did want to show you this. So there's been an ongoing debate ever since Come Along started hiking with me that Sobo's easier because Sobo is always downhill. When you walk south, all water flows south except for the New River. So he says that Sobo's easier because you're walking downhill. So that's a ongoing debate between he and I. Now he's got a new thing. You see how he uses his tracking poles. So he says that, and he ain't stuck in things in the dirt since we got started. Even coming up that 45-degree hill we come up. Now he went from vertical to horizontal. And he says that that is his way of sensing whether he's going uphill or downhill.
No, not uphill or downhill. It's a balance to where you're standing at your poles to level. These are level.
Balance to where you're standing. Okay, so it's a balance to where you're standing as to whether you're level or not, and what do you ultimately do with that data?
Balance my pack and keep my posture right going up and down the hill.
Okay, so that he uses them not as a means of propulsion, but as a means of balance.
There ain't no jets on them. They don't propulsion.
So now, oh cool, we got a little view going on here. It's this power line. Unfortunately, it also means in just a bit we'll get and go back uphill. Anyhow, so that's the latest debate, or his latest thing. I hadn't even had time to produce an argument on that, so I don't know. We hadn't really debated that. I'm still kind of in shock that that's his theory. But he is through hiking, so he made it all the way to New York, flipped up here. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe I need to Come Along just a little more leeway, a little more respect for his opinion.
And if you don't, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Nah, don't think I will. All right. Yeah, that's typical. Now, one thing I am going to give him a lot of respect for is he may have lost some weight, starting to look like he's homeless, but and no deference to homeless people for comparing them to Come Along, please. But he says he's lost 60 pounds. I think he's lost 80 and gained 20 in his freaking calves. I hadn't looked at his thighs. Not that I go around looking at other men's calves or thighs, okay? But but when you're walking behind somebody on a 45-degree slope and the calves are at your eyeballs, well, you just see them. So he's definitely developed a few more muscle groups on his calf, so I will have to give him that. Hang on a minute. Come on. Let's quit bouncing around. Let me see your calves. Go ahead and flex your calves. Look at that. That's the Thru Hiker's calves right there. All right. He can, he says he's going to get him an AT tattoo when he finishes on his calves. Now, the only problem with that is he can get, if he's got to figure out how big a one to get. If he gets one that covers his whole calf now, when he loses his calves after going back to the sedentary lifestyle in the Matrix, the AT symbol will wrap around in the front of his leg. All right, we'll get back to y'all in a bit. Well, this is the first time for me on the AT. A dadgum 24-foot ladder. I'll be dang. How about that? I'm not recording my butt going down. I'll fall off it sure as the world. So this lookout shelter is about 1/10 of a mile off the trail, straight up the hill. So we came up the hill, and up there is a shelter. You can kind of see the backside of it there. Found a little stealth site right. So we got a really nice little breeze blowing through here. And so, yeah, cool little site. Stuff's drying out over there on the line. So today we hiked about 12 miles up from Thundering Falls trailhead, heading Nobo. It was a tough 12 miles. Probably could have gone another 4 miles to the next shelter, but I really wanted to get on top of this roof up here and see the sunset. So, but tough 12 miles, lots of ups, lots of downs. That's all it was, is ups and downs. And they were as tough as stuff I've been through down in Virginia, North Carolina. Georgia's not too bad, really. So, but going through forest and everything's really neat. So tough climb up here, but we had a good time. And it's been good to have come along here. Just somebody to chat to, catch it up on how things are going on the trail with him, and other folks that are on the trail that I know and everything. A couple folks recognized me coming up here, so that was cool. 2 hikers that I hope we run into that are in this area. That's Lucky, who is the owner down at the Above the Clouds Hostel in Georgia. So he is doing a Sobo trip, and he is somewhere, like, we should be running into him in the next couple of days. And then Hawk is somewhere right behind us. So Hawk's in Vermont, and he should, we should see him, unless we miss him, just due to us going into town or what have you. So the plan is, from here is tomorrow we've got 7 miles to get to retread, and then we're going to dump our heavy packs and go probably another 5 or 7 miles with slack packs, and then that'll leave us somewhere around 16-ish miles to get to the border. So let's see, tomorrow will be, today's Sunday, tomorrow's Monday. Maybe it'll be 20 miles to get to the border. Anyway, point is, we'll be done Wednesday. So have an extra day that we can either head back and help retread, clean out the trailer, and then I fly back out on Friday and come along. We'll catch a train or get some type of mode of transportation back down to Pauline, where he got off trail to come see me. So that is the plan. Day was again tough day. First time I've ever run out of water. Feet are doing good. Knees are doing really good. Those bands are just awesome on my knees. And the feet are doing fine. Did have to do a little wilderness right before we got here, about 2.5 miles before we got here. Did have to do a little wilderness first aid and soak them in the creek. I'm doing a little bit of wilderness first aid here, soaking my foot, getting some of that PF worked out, getting some of that, hopefully that inflammation down. And come on, we've got water source here. We're going to the Lookout is the next shelter we're going to. Is supposed to have a lookout on top of it. So that is what the plan is. 3 miles, 4 miles in front of us. First time I've ever run slap out of water. So I ran slap out of water this time. So, but just in time to get to the water source. So, all right, let me put my feet back on, and we are continuing on up to the Lookout, and we'll talk about the day when I get there. But we were getting water and everything anyway. There is no water here at Lookout Shelter, so if you wind up coming up here, you're going to have to bring your own water. And that is the closest water source, creek, 2.5 miles before you get here. So substantial water source, reliable, Good Hook says, but you'll need to get water to bring it up here. So we, plus filling up our 2 liters each in our smart water bottles. I brought 2 liters in my CNOC, and he's got a Be-Free that's a 3 liter, so he brought that up. So we'll use a good portion of that because I'm trying to hydrate as much as I can. So I've already drinking most of my 2 liters that took up there. All right, we're going to show you the sunset tonight, so you got that to look forward to, and then we will call it a day. All right, I'll see you at the show coming up here in a couple hours.